The Oilers are now off to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Who saw that coming? I think a lot of people who were behind me tonight. They beat the Florida Panthers 5-1 at home in Edmonton, keeping Canada's chance to end the 31-year Cup drought alive.
They will Monday night play a one-game showdown for the Marbles and the Stanley Cup.
Cinderella story, comeback story, call it what you like. It certainly has been enchanting. The Oilers celebrating tonight after fighting their way back from a 3-0 deficit in this series. It is now tied 3 games apiece. They head to Florida for that decisive Game 7. The winner of that one single game, after all the hockey so far this year, the winner of that one game will be the Stanley Cup champion. Let's go to Nancy Carlson. She's been with fans all evening in the Ice District. And Nancy, give us a sense of the mood when that final horn sounded.
Oh my gosh, Ian. As soon as that final buzzer went, everyone was on their feet, like jumping up and down. I mean, high-fiving. You know, we talk about the power of sport, and that's really what it's about. So many people coming together to celebrate in this one amazing moment, right? And I mean, when we talk about Oilers fans, right now it's about hockey fans, Canadian hockey fans coming together to celebrate this team that may have, well, I mean, they do have a chance to bring the Stanley Cup back to Canada for the first time in so long, and fans are absolutely ecstatic about it. Have a listen.
This has been 18 years in the making. We have a jersey from 2006 when they were last in the Stanley Cup Finals. Look at this shit! We are there. We are taking this cup.
Oh my God, I graduated today.
We're going to Game 7. We're going to Game 7. We're going to Game 7.
I love my
Oilers
boys.
in 7, Lord. Oilers in 7.
I never lost faith in my boys. I love them.
And I remember back in 2006 when the Oilers came so close. And to feel this now, like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it, because this is actually happening. And the energy, you can still hear it behind me. Fans are so happy about tonight.
I can see the team store over your left shoulder. I was there yesterday and was surprised to find a family from Sweden who said they've been watching Oilers games late into the night all year. They came here to watch a finals game. Any surprises for you tonight as you were talking to fans, Nancy?
You know, I think that it's interesting because when you talk about people from different places, being able to travel from here to Florida, and the people that are willing to travel that distance from wherever they are. We actually met some friends, some new friends. He is from Germany and they are from Edmonton, and they met in Florida, and now they say that they're going to be friends for life. And you have people, I talked to people, a now former Calgary Flames fan. I know. Absolutely excited to see where the team is now. And again, just that sense of excitement. You can get so many people. Where else can you get thousands of people who come from so many different places, so many different backgrounds in one place, all rooting for the same thing? Having that feeling and that emotion, and here in Edmonton too, is a very special feeling.
Nancy, you've done such a terrific job. You've captured the mood of what's been going on in the Ice District so perfectly. And by the way, every time I threw to you and said, can you describe the mood, you started every hit quite appropriately with the phrase, oh my gosh. So it has been terrific. And so thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian.
CBC News Edmonton AM host and longtime sportscaster Mark Connolly is with me now. So as we speak to a Western Canadian audience, as a guy who knows about sports, as a guy who knows about the city, as a guy who spent virtually his entire life here, what are your reflections tonight?
Well, you know, when I was 19 years old, the Oilers came into the NHL, and my buddies and I all bought season tickets. That's how different the NHL was back in 1979 when they came in. And we have followed them ever since. Now, I've gone through my own little journey being a sportscaster for 25 years. When you're covering the team, you're not as big a fan. I still was a fan, but you got to separate yourself slightly, right? So you just try to be a little bit laid back about it. And then when I became the morning show host, Now I'm a bit more of a cheerleader for the city, so I can cheer on the Oilers. My phone's blowing up right now. My son texted me saying he can't believe it. I'm on an email chain with 8 other guys I went to high school with. Everybody's celebrating. Some guys planning to go to Florida. Even my wife watched the game, and she doesn't usually watch the games. So Edmonton is enraptured with the Oilers. I mean, it feels so good. It just feels so good to have the team doing so well. And everybody says, we're doing great, as if they're part of the team. But it's just such a great feeling when you have this joy. I think other Canadians can relate to it, right? Because so many people love their teams. And when they have this kind of success, you feel like you're having success.
I've heard so many people, especially in this province, but across the country, talk about how their memories of Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier and Paul Coffey fired a lifetime of devotion to the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah. That's
happening presumably right now with McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, Hyman, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are. That is four players. The 4 players you mentioned right now are the Gretzky, Messier, Curry, Anderson of this group, and Coffey, throw him in there as well. They are, a couple of those guys going to the Hall of Fame for sure, McDavid and Draisaitl, and they have just taken a step above. And the kids who are growing up with them and the young people, and we saw it here tonight, Ian, right? If you're 19 years old in Edmonton, you don't have season tickets unless your parents bought them, right? But there were thousands of them here and enjoying this, and they relate to it. They are part of it, and that's what they want to be part of. And they love their team.
And one last thing I want to point out, I know those of you who are Edmonton Oilers fans know this already. Those of you in Alberta know this already, but it bears repeating, especially from a guy who lives in Vancouver. This is a team that has a lot of Canadian hockey players in it, and a lot of Albertans, including the hometown boy in nets. And you know what? In this era of sports where free agents go from continent to continent sometimes,
for sure,
kind of nice to have a hometown kid playing for the team.
It is. Stu Skinner, and he's paid his dues, right? He came up through the system. He was a first-round pick, but he wasn't like a heralded guy like Connor McDavid, a surefire, he's going to make it to the NHL. He ground it out. He made it through. And so many people are cheering for him. People who knew him when he was a midget player, a bantam player, when he's 12, 13 years old, and you're not quite sure, is this guy going to make it? And then when he comes up and plays the way he has, he's undefeated in games 4 to 7 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Unbeaten in 10 games.
Yeah, it's an incredible statistic. And I thought, sometimes statistics don't really mean what they appear to say.
Yeah.
This one means everything.
He is the nicest guy.
Yeah.
He is such a nice guy. Everybody from Edmonton, right? Nice people. Absolutely. And he's one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a fantastic story. Let's hope, the story is continuing.
Yes.
Let's hope the storybook ending is what we see on Monday. Mark Connolly, really nice having you on the program.
Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it.